So, at our house, in the dead of winter, when the mail comes, we'll get a seed catalog. Anybody get seed catalogs sent to your house? Is it territorial seed? That's the people that we associate with. So this seed catalog shows up, and Susan takes the seed catalog and makes decisions about the seeds she's going to order. She dog ears them. Get it? Dog ears, right? Dog church. So she dog ears the catalog. She orders the seed. Now, while the seed is really important, those of you who really know gardening and know farming, the soil is particularly important, right? You can have the fanciest seeds from all the way from New Hampshire, Vermont, but if you have really bad soil, the seed can only do so much. So this gospel, this parable, in many ways is about the sower. We think about the sower maybe being Jesus, being the grace of God, and this sower who's just willy-nilly throwing seeds around like unlimited funds, got a big discount from territorial seeds, so he's just throwing seeds every which way. And that, in many ways, is the grace of God, right? God is gracious with God's love, with God's mercy, with God's joy. At the same time, we know that the soil needs to be healthy for it to truly grow. Now, what's important to be aware of, though, if we're not careful, we can get stingy with this parable, right? And say, our job is to be the best soil we can be and create this secret society of the good soil, right? And we'll email you where we're going to show up, and thank you back there, brother, for that response. But what's really important is to realize the sower is out throwing seeds willy-nilly, and you and I need for that seed to be thrown everywhere, because on my own, I can't make myself the good soil. Amen? Amen? Thank you for that. All right. Because if you're going to be a good gardener, you're going to order good seed, but then that sower, that gardener is also going to make good soil and tend to good soil. And on my own, I can't make myself good soil. Now, I can respond in some ways, but so much of the work has to be the work of God. And so often those of us maybe who find ourselves as good soil, we find ourselves as good soil because of what other people have done before in our lives. So the good thing for us to do this morning is to remember this parable is about the sower who is throwing seed willy-nilly. And it also means for us, if we find ourselves in a good soil moment, to celebrate that, to give thanks for that, but to realize we are good soil because of what others have done. It's also why you and I never give up on those rocky places, right? Because so often if you find yourself in a rocky place, you didn't get there on your own. Other things happened to you, right? And so it's why we as the people of God continue to celebrate that God throws seed and the grace and the mercy and the joy willy-nilly everywhere. And not simply to the secret society of the good soil, and we know where we meet and don't tell anybody. We believe that we also are called to tend to the rocky places, right? And to remove the rocks and to make that good soil time and time and time again. So, thank you for being here this morning. Realize we're gathering in a public place, so we're not a secret society. And our call is to keep celebrating this God who is ridiculous in God's grace. And to realize that we, at different times in our life and at different times in my own body, I have been good soil, I have been rocky places, I've heard the word and responded, or it's withered away. So we're never even good soil all the time, which again should allow us to be grateful that God keeps casting seed again and again in every season, preparing in the dead of winter for what will grow in a gracious spring and hopeful summer. All the people say, Amen. Excellent. Are you revived